thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Aaron Porras here with ILTV's Morning Briefing. Horrific news is emerging this morning from the Tel Aviv suburb of Holon. Today, a nurse has been killed after a patient set her on fire in a medical clinic in the city. After a brief manhunt, police arrested a 78-year-old suspect who police allege has been dissatisfied with his treatment. The suspect walked into the lab on the Kaplan Street clinic in Holon and poured flammable material on the nurse before setting her alight. Witnesses said that the fire erupted after a bottle with flammable liquid was thrown inside the clinic. The victim was pronounced dead at the scene by first responders, while several other present people were treated for shock. 3 were treated for smoke inhalation. Yesterday, the Prime Minister sat down with President Trump's special advisor Jason Greenblatt to discuss the issue of settlements and the possibility of advancing peace between Israel and its neighbors. Greenblatt told Netanyahu that both enabling the growth of the Palestinian economy and improving the quality of life for Palestinians are important to Trump. The Prime Minister agreed with Greenblatt, saying that he is, quote, fully committed to broadening prosperity for the Palestinians, end quote, seeing the issue as a means of bolstering the prospects for peace. Greenblatt is slated to meet with Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas on Tuesday as part of a new attempt to broker a fresh peace deal between Israelis and Palestinians. Last week in a phone call, Trump invited Abbas to the White House and reaffirmed the United States' commitment to a two-state solution. In an attempt to avoid unwanted friction with the White House, the ruling Likud party has asked lawmakers from the Jewish Home Party for a 3-month delay on a bill that would annex the West Bank settlement of Ma'ale Adumim. The formal request came from coalition chair MK David Bitan of the Likud to Jewish Home's faction chair MK Bezalel Smotrich shortly after Netanyahu had concluded a 5-hour meeting with Jason Greenblatt, United States President Donald Trump's envoy on Israeli-Palestinian peace. According to Channel 10, sources in Netanyahu's government have been trying to convince the bill's authors, Smotrich and Likud MK Yoav Kish, not to bring the bill to the ministerial committee to a legislative meeting scheduled for Tuesday. Smotrich denied the request to advance the bill, however the final decision will be made by Jewish Home's leader, Education Minister Naftali Bennett, who has in the past touted the bill as a coalition-backed initiative. The Jewish Home Party has long supported legislation that would see Israel effectively annex large parts of the West Bank, starting with Ma'ale Adumim. The wounds of the Second World War are still wide open for many, and now, some victims and their families who survived Croatia's Nazi-collaborating regime in World War II are seeking damages. The plaintiffs in the case are seeking $3.5 billion in compensation for property seized by the government from ethnic Serbs, Roma, and Jews, in addition to any other suffering caused by them during the war. $3.5 billion is just over 7% of Croatia's reported GDP in all of 2015. Filed in Chicago in May of 2016, the suit was officially presented to the Croatian government in February, giving Zagreb 2 months to respond. The Croatian Foreign Ministry released in a statement that, quote, Croatia is not a successor to the independent state of Croatia, or NDH, from the war, and therefore is not responsible for the damages. The NDH, allied with the Nazi regime, is responsible for the deaths of hundreds of thousands of Serbs, Jews, Roma, and anti-government dissenters. The saga resulting from Prime Minister Netanyahu's comments about Iran to a group of children on Purim this weekend continues, as the Israeli leader fires back at Iranian Foreign Minister Zarif for accusing him of historical distortion. Netanyahu referenced the Iranian regime in an offhand comment at a synagogue this weekend. Speaking to costumed children and their parents, he said that, as in the story of Purim, the Persians, in reference to modern-day Iran, are still trying to kill us. Javad Zarif, the Iranian foreign minister, responded on Twitter, saying, quote, to sell bigoted lies against a nation which has saved Jews 3 times, Netanyahu is resorting to fake history and falsifying Torah, force of habit, end quote. The latest in the back and forth between the two top statesmen comes from Netanyahu, as he too wrote to Twitter, saying, quote, Iran's FM speaks of tolerance while the regime hangs gays, jails journalists, and calls for Israel's annihilation. Who are they kidding? End quote. That's all for now. I'm Aaron Porras, and see you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.